I have a super special guest. It's Dominik Siedlecki, who is extraordinary person. The man wearing many hats, of many passions. And I have his book that was released 4 years ago. It was 4 years.
2 years ago.
But it's really amazing story. So Dominik, you were born in Poland and you finished your school of economics. And then you came to London in 2007. And right now you are an advertising specialist. So that's your everyday job. But a part of it, you have lots of passions. And one of them is photography and traveling. So passion is actually something that you can experiment it. It's not something what you were born and you just follow for entire life. Maybe you try something, you like it for a while, it's good for a moment, but it's not forever.
Exactly. I mean, you don't know. Yeah, well, completely 100% agree. You're born and you don't know what's in your book of passions and talents. You don't know. So you kind of go through life exploring that and figuring out this for yourself. That's why it's so valuable to be curious and open-minded for anything that it's happening in the world and taking the best of that onto you and seeing what works best for you.
Dominik speaks 7 languages. Can you believe it? Like 7. Like, I don't know how
it's not that hard when you start thinking about it. 7 languages, yes. Some of them, they help you to learn another language. So it kind of goes, it's like a cascade of languages. And being from Poland, you know this very well, but speaking Polish language, which is one of the most difficult in the world, and no one can learn it properly, and no one can understand it. You just have this need and urge to learn another language.
The next thing that I discovered is that you were a dancer.
Yeah, I used to train, so it's Latin and ballroom dancing. You know, basically what you see on TV when it's Strictly Come Dancing. Quite because of that. So I used to train dancing for about 10 years, competing, performing, taking part of tournaments and performing on TV, on video clips, on stage, you know, as a backing dancer, video clip, many aspects of dancing, which dancing helped me to shape who I am. It really gave me a lot. I know it's just probably people thinking, you know, it's physical activity, yes, but it gives you so much of your self-confidence as well. You have to learn how to overcome ups and downs, you know, downs in your life. When dancing, you know, maybe you have to train a bit harder. You have to combine lots of things in your life at the same time. When you at school and when you develop your passion, you know how to combine all of this together, how to find this balance. So a lot of that is these are the skills that help me to actually further in my life.
From the beginning, when did you discover this passion?
Yeah, it's kind of with traveling. I think you need to have someone that inspires you. You can't just suddenly come up. I think it's difficult to suddenly come up in your head and like, I'm going to start traveling without seeing wonderful stories from other people or without someone else taking you maybe on that first journey together. So I remember, when I was studying in Portugal, and one of my friends over there, she had this crazy idea, let's go hitchhiking to Morocco. And many years ago, and Morocco at the time was still a very exotic country. And obviously me being like 20 years old, any country would be an exotic country. So somehow I've always been up for adventure. So I straight away said yes. The 3 of us, we went down to Morocco, and it was like a very spontaneous but such an epic trip that left me with a lot of experience and a lot of appreciation for what you learn when you're traveling. So yeah, it's thanks to someone that kind of had this idea And ever since then, I've wanted to discover other parts of the world. It's as simple as that. You taste one thing and you have an appetite for more.
As far as I know, traveling and being in the foreigner countries was not something super new for you, because as a child, your parents were actually traveling as well. So if you can tell us.
I have this also. Yeah, I have this bag also from home. So yes, my parents, before I was born, they lived abroad. They lived in Pakistan for 4 years. So always there were stories in our house, in our home, about living there. You know, how is it to eat the food from Pakistan? How is it, to wear clothes from Pakistan? We were surrounded with souvenirs from Pakistan and furniture from Pakistan. So it always this kind of thing of, there are those countries and different cultures around the world, and there's always something amazing about them, and you just want to try to get to know them a bit better.
We met actually in London with a Polish professional community. I was looking for my own way in life. I had some passions before, but I was looking for something, and I was always drawn into images. However, I haven't ever had opportunity to, buy some expensive equipment and stuff like that, and I just didn't get across this. And when I met you, and because you were a founder of our Polish professional photography group, I was kind of asking you many questions about equipment, about camera. This is a question that many people are asking me as well right now.
So I've kind of similarly to you, I knew that I liked taking pictures, and again, probably at one of those trips, someone had a professional camera, they were taking amazing pictures, and they kind of explained to me some basics, or just gave me a bit of a down kind of explanation of what it entails. So when I moved to London, had a bit more time, let's say, to pursue my passions. And I wanted to sign up for a photography course. I found kind of one-off weekend class, which was actually within the Polish professionals group. There was this Polish photographer, Małgorzata, who was really good, and we started talking together about setting up something more regular that would help to train our skills, explain the skills you need to do, explain the technicalities of it. So learn the basics and then follow exploring your perfecting your eye. It's like you say, 100% agree. It's the feelings, it's the emotions that need to come through the photos, but then you have to learn the basics first, just to be free without exploring with it. So we've set up this group. We were running it for about 3 years, maybe 4 years. We organized exhibitions, group exhibitions. I think we had 4 of them throughout the time. This was very successful. At some point, Beata, you joined us because of people come and go. You didn't have all the same people throughout all those years. We just helped each other out, kept on motivating each other, exploring our skills, and that was a wonderful experience. So we learned a lot, and it gave me a lot of confidence and skills to be then using photography together with my traveling bag, together with my language skills. So it all comes together. Even dancing, helped me sometimes when traveling. So all those passions, I really think they helped me come together and get more interesting stories, being able to speak to the locals in a more interesting way, in a more meaningful way, traveling in a more meaningful way, basically.
You actually visited over almost 70 countries. You were on 6 continents. So that's impressive. Most of your trips were alone. So what difference do you feel when you go alone or with a group?
So when you're alone, obviously you have a bit more time to devote into taking photos. You know, if you are talking, you know, if you're considering a trip to be a photography trip.
Mm-hmm.
If you're traveling in a group, obviously you still can take great photos, but I guess not everyone in your group would have lots of patience for you to be stuck in one place and exploring with the things and being there for half an hour taking pictures of one and the same subject. So it might be a bit boring for your companions. So obviously that's a big difference. So when you travel alone, you can really focus on this kind of professional aspect, let's say.
And also you can build a more closer relationship with the people. You can become part of a community because they don't treat you as a tourist that much after a while.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have anyone else to speak to, so by definition you just speak to the locals a bit more. And because my main subject of photography are people, this is what I'm interested about, really getting to know and capturing, you know, the lives of people in different exotic, because exotic is kind of depends where you are from. Exotic to us, cultures and traditions, you know, and their lives, and obviously this is manifested with the outfits, with the food, with the surroundings. You know, everything speaks to us in a, you know, volumes. It's different to ours, so that's why it's fascinating. So it's people. So because I'm alone, I can speak to them obviously a bit more using my languages. Trying, not everyone obviously speaks the European countries, so you use the universal
and dance language. Tell us a short story about your dance language that you.
My dance language, exactly. This is
your
also
dance
a language.
Yeah.
So I've used dancing a few times, but I think one of those really interesting stories was when I was in Burkina Faso. This is a country in Africa, West Africa. So I heard those. That's the book that I published about Burkina Faso. You can
read about this story and more stories in here, but tell us so people can have a sneak peek.
But the dancing story is they had funeral celebrations in one of the tiny village, you know, really small village. At night or very late in the evening, there was this funeral celebrations. I could hear music, drums, but people weeping at the same time. You know, it was mourning of the people who passed away, but at the same time they were trying to celebrate that person. So I was trying to be there as close as I can, you know, sneaking through the open doors. It was all outdoors, but you know, there was a gate. Somehow they invited me in. I was, you know, just the only foreigner. There was no one in the village staying overnight apart from me, really, and I managed to get in. I really was humbled already by the fact that I was let in. I didn't have my camera at this point. It's not about taking photos at that moment, but I just really wanted to be there and somehow be part of it, at least see it. At the end of those celebrations, they were dancing, and at some point, I think time passed, so I must have been there for an hour or so. So they kind of trusted me. I was, already like part of the group, let's say. One of the women, she invited me into the circle in the middle and started, kind of this African shamanic dance. And because I can move, I quickly picked it up. She was like,
he's one of us.
Surprise, I'm doing well. And all the women started clapping. There was mainly women, not that many men. And we started dancing even more and more and more. The music was kept on going. They were playing those drums really actively. And then it was already sensational. I had this, on my head, I had this lamp. So I put it on this different vibes. You have this option of putting a stroboscope light.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah.
all the time. They were shocked, for them this was a complete novelty. And I was dancing with this light. It was just crazy.
You made disco dance from a funeral.
They remembered me the next day when we were in the market in this village. I remember this. I was walking and suddenly this group of women, they were like pointing at me, like smiling. I'm like, what is happening? But then I didn't they recognized me, and they were smiling, they were saying hello, other people were saying hello, they were obviously telling the story. So it's the universal language, like you said. It's one of those. So you just what you can you have, and be nice with people, trying to get to know them, who they really are.
So that's a great and funny and positive stories. Do you have any not positive stories at all? Or if you want to share any, like a danger or something like that?
No, I mean, there is obviously, when you travel, there are those moments when you are a bit insecure, I suppose, what's happening, if you're going to manage from A to B, maybe money's running out, maybe, I don't know, you lost the connection, you're stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt really in danger. There would always be someone that could help me. I mean, even once, I remember, I literally had zero money. I didn't have any more cash, I couldn't use my card, and one of those days, I bought some food. I was really hungry. The food somehow slipped onto the pavement. I completely lost that food. I had no more money. I was super hungry. My bus was just leaving, and I was just almost crying and standing there. And one of the locals just offered to pay for me.
Wow.
A new portion of food, and this was. I have still no words for gratitude to that person.
So Dominik, you have visited so many countries, and which one was your favorite?
So difficult to answer. Obviously Burkina Faso was one of those amazing destinations and amazing adventure, but I think I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to everyone to visit. The country that is one of my really favorite ones, and I think it's worthwhile going and visiting, it's Myanmar, formerly known as Burma. There's so many different ways of saying it. So the country next to Thailand. It feels like an ancient kingdom, actually, that country. It doesn't feel like a modern, developed society. In a way, it's kind of living in this past that it's so beautiful to see and it's so amazing to experience. The cultures are really vivid. They have this, one of those UNESCO amazing sites is at the temples of Bagan. It's essentially the remnant of the empire that was there live 1,000 years ago. About 4,000 temples and essentially kind of like palaces almost that are there spread out in this vast, huge valley, green valley. So this is an incredible sight, which already, makes this country very special. But the people that live there, there's different minorities who, each one of them have their own identity. And they kind of, again, reflected in different way, how they look, what they wear, how they, their language as well. And they the people from Myanmar, because again, people is what I'm after. People were, and it's one of those cliches when you visit a great country, you say, the people in the country I visited are the most friendliest in the world. And you kept going and discovering those friendly people, but really Myanmar people were so welcoming and so again helpful and inviting, and not being afraid to talk to you. And maybe they're just not spoiled yet, but by a mass tourist industry, they opened up on me about 10 years ago to the mass tourism. So maybe that's also one of the reasons why. So lots to see, lots to view, lots to experience, and be welcomed by those people. And this feeling, like I said at the beginning, feeling like you are in this ancient kingdom. You're humbled by being even welcome in this kingdom. I remember a situation where I saw a beautiful, really picturesque girl sitting on a bus stop. She was wearing this really colorful clothes, had this amazing traditional Myanmar type makeup. She was selling clothes, I think, really eye-catching and a beautiful image that you could see, that you could definitely straight away put it in your develop as a photography. So somehow around her there were lots of people, and I was a bit afraid of going there with my camera, kind of, you know, taking the photos. I was actually afraid everyone else would start photographing her, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And I walked away, and I kept thinking, no, I'm kind of losing this opportunity. And I came back after 5 or 10 minutes, and I asked the girl, hey, you know, is it okay if I take a photo? You know, I started in English. I don't remember, was it the universal language or what? And she nodded, and she gave me this permission. She smiled, and I took 1 or 2 photos of her. That was enough. She was so beautiful. We couldn't really talk, and then left her. This photo was one of my favorites from the country. So the tip is, the piece of advice, just don't be afraid. I mean, ask the people if you can take a photo. What's the worst can happen? You know, they can just say no, and it's just fine, and you take the no for an answer, and you don't take the photo. But if they say yes, this is it. So just don't be afraid. Try to talk to them. Don't be too shy. You might lose on an opportunity, and then you're gonna keep regretting that moment.
So do you normally ask for permission, everyone, or how about these images which are, you know, because this is a bit a fine line, because if you ask someone, then he will sit and smile on you. But if you want to have more natural documentary style, then how do you cope with this?
Actually, a good example, I can see the picture behind you, the woman on the bottom left.
Yeah.
It is the African lady. She is looking in a mirror. There was exactly this situation that I wanted to take a picture of her. I asked her if I can take it. She said no. Fine, okay, I'm respecting that. I was kind of still there observing the situation. She had her eyebrows being applied out in an outdoor space in a market, and she said no. There was a few other people next to her. They all said kind of no, but I was just observing. I was happy to just observe. And at some point she was like, okay,
okay, so she gave you permission. Okay.
Yeah, but she was, she was not smiling, as you could see.
Mm-hmm.
I just took one picture. After they heard me pressing the shutter button, after they heard me, immediately they were like, okay, one picture taken, this is it. And the scene kind of, but she was just being herself, and she's not smiling to the camera, she's not posing, she's completely natural. That's also one of the pictures that I really love from that trip. And so, you just need to try to be an observer. You're not asking them to pose. Probably the picture on your right, the woman with this amazing long neck necklace or bracelets around her neck. This is actually a different situation, because she's kind of it is a tourist attraction, unfortunately. She is kind of in this organized kind of setting that people can see that. I mean, it's not a true reflection of what would be in her life.
Dominik, in your book, there is one sentence: the traveling is the only thing you buy that makes you richer.
Yeah, I mean, this is a quote. This is not me coming up with the sentence. It's a quote that essentially reflects my philosophy on on traveling. A lot of people think spending money on travel, it's pointless. It's just so much. You'd rather buy something else for yourself, something that you can keep. No, I have a different point of view here. I think traveling really enables you to collect those memories. We just talked about just few stories, and that makes us alive. That makes us human. I will remember those stories forever. The things that I've learned, the things that I've experienced, the things that I've seen. I have learned an awful lot. I have experienced a lot. Because of traveling, I think I learned also, I pick up on my history, on my biology, on my geography, on the languages. Everything comes together. So this is life. This is what classroom or school in the real world. So that truly makes you a richer person.
Fantastic. We could talk for ages probably, so maybe next time we can do another meeting, but thank you very much for everyone who is watching us, and hopefully you find it interesting. Dominik, thank you so much. Let us know where can we find this book to buy, and where can we see more of your beautiful photographs.
Yeah, thank you for a lovely chat. I would welcome everyone to visit my website if you want to see any more. That is www.peopleoftheworld.co.uk. So yeah, everything is about people and the world and traveling and all of this coming together. You can see the link up here. You can see more of the stories from different countries, pictures from the countries, but also a little description about the book. And if you're interested about the book, please contact me directly. You could buy it from me.
Great, thanks a lot. I'm super happy that you find the time to have this chat.
Thank you, Beata. All the best for your further discussions and talks and inspiration. This is great you doing that. So
thank you. Thanks a lot. See you later. Bye. Are you tea or coffee person?
I'm definitely a tea drinker. I don't like coffee. Is just a special occasion to me.
Great. So you are definitely my cup of tea. Are we back? Hello. Are we back, Dominik?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very remote island.
It's a very remote island.